Hey guys, so I'm on gonna be heading to Pensacola after I swing by my work and pick up the heads. They're in the parts washer. It wasn't quite hot enough this morning to run them, so I'm gonna pick them up, go by and run the heads through the parts washer and head to Pensacola. But first, I figured I'd show you what a cold start is on this turd. I got Poodle Pecker, and the reason showing you this is this has got the oil bearing. Whoops. Be all like Robert Cray. This has got the oil bearing mods where I did the little hole, enlarged the hole to the oil passages, and it's got a high volume, high pressure pump. I had the battery disconnected, so idle was a little bit flaky at first. But there it is. That's like 60 degrees out and around 40 pounds of oil pressure at cold idle. It's nothing to be alarmed about. All right, we're gonna get rolling. All right, fellas, we're heading to Pensacola. We're up on the interstate. Everything's looking good so far. Shouldn't be an issue. This car is pretty reliable. And there's hope. Brian always talked about getting rid of them trees somehow, but still no word on it. It's supposed to be opening up, or being getting the paperwork done by the middle of the month. So that was like coming up real quick, this middle of the month. So no word yet. They're keeping it real secret. Had to wait a little bit for the heating elements to work. I think one of them might be out in our parts washer. Put me a little behind, and because of head sat in the parts washer waiting for it to get hot, they got flash rust all over them, so they look like shit. But it'll come off with a WD-40 and a rag. That ain't a big deal. It's still aggravating. So we'll have more later on. Alright guys, so we're headed to Whataburger. Following Rod in the brain because he knows all the shortcuts. I know I can kind of get there, but he knows the shortcuts. But what I wanted to point out is right there, you see it's 50. Now we're going to a good turn. It's going to be extra garbagey. I'm trying to turn manual steering car with end shift. See, there's 2,500 RPM. 50 pounds of pressure, and at warm idle when it's 170 degrees, still got 40 pounds of oil pressure. It hasn't changed from cold idle because the bearing holes are opened up. Bearing holes are opened up so you don't have the restriction, so the oil flows through a lot more freely, and you don't have big fluctuations in oil pressure from when it's cold to when it's hot, because it moves more freely. Hopefully that makes sense, but I gotta pay attention to driving here a minute. Alright fellas, we left the Whataburger in Pensacola. We're headed north to Jay, Florida. We're on the outskirts of Jay right now. You can see some of the sports complexes. Pensacola is just like one of the southern suburbs of Jay. We're going up to see the mayor of Jay, Florida. So once we get up there, you'll get to see what Jay is all about, and we'll get to visit with the mayor, people's mayor, the Chad. So we headed up there. It'll be a little bit longer yet, but everything's working good so far. Still got 50 pounds of oil pressure at cruise, 70 miles an hour. So we'll get back to you in a bit. Later. Alright guys, you can see we're on the outskirts of Jay. Chad texted me. He said he was going to run to the grocery store a little while ago, so we might not get to see him, but he left when I come up here to get on a tailgate of his truck. missed the turn back there, so I come in kind of the longer way. I was supposed to go behind the school, but I went in front of it. I think this is close to being downtown Jay as you can get. There's a cross street up ahead. That's where the main intersection in town is. Got them a DG Market and a Dollar General. Damn! Saw a Piggly Wiggly back a few miles too. And a Family Dollar. Oh my goodness. Well, I gotta go across the street, so that. Guys usually got some neat cars out here. Well, some parts of some anyway. Alright, I gotta drive. Alright, we're rolling out of Jay. See the cottons coming in. The mayor of Jay had to take his bride to the store. He's pretty busy, you know, being a mayor. He ain't got a whole lot of time for himself. It's all about the people. So he left what I was getting on the back of his pickup, and I left money there underneath a pair of pliers for it. And we had completed our transaction. So I'm headed back down to Fort Walton now. I'm almost not too far from the Alabama border. And we headed back down south. Right now we got 120 miles, used about half a tank of gas. Probably ain't horrible. But see the cotton pickers are out. So anyway, wrapping this up in a little while as we head back down here. All right, catch you in the next one. All right, fellas, good morning. It's like 8 o'clock Sunday morning. It's like 65 out. But the purpose of this was to show the difference between like in the red car and the black car. All main bearings are drilled a little bit for the oil galley to open it up, and this one is just a trooper car. Is just a stock short block. So it's still got the small holes in there, and it's got a high pressure pump. It's gonna have the same, would have the same pressure with the other two if those bearings in those cars were stock, but this one isn't. So both of those cars had like 40 psi cold idle. I haven't run this car yet. It's got a speed density processor in it, and the 4-hole throttle body, and the idle air idle air controller is disconnected. So you got just about 65 cold start, cold idle. Don't pay attention to that, it's not working. So it's idling at like 800 RPM, 65 pounds of pressure. So, and it's, even if you got more pressure, you're still getting more volume of oil through too at the same time. And it's not costing any power. The high volume pump doesn't cost any more power to run. But, you know, like I said, personally, I don't see the point in running a high volume pump if you're not changing the whole oiling system where you're going to take advantage of the extra volume. So, but that's all up to each of y'all, everybody, you know, do what you want with your own cars and stuff. But this was just to show the difference and show that, you know, I know the first time I read about making the holes bigger on the bearings, I was like, oh, that's crazy. But it makes the difference. So, and it was something I wanted to try. And, you know, my old adage, you can't win a farting contest if you're worried about crapping your pants. So this is Sunday morning. Yesterday morning I went up to Pensacola and to Jay. I got some stuff from the Chad, and this morning I went over and got some stuff from Patrick Terry. He's the guy with the LTD, always runs against Roger real fast, LTD. Actually, it's a Mercury Marquis. I take that back. It looks like an LTD, but it's a Mercury Marquis. I'll show you that stuff here in a second. Hold on for the next clip. All right, this will be the last video clip in this piece of trash I'm loading to YouTube. You guys are like, oh, thank God. Well, this is the stuff I was talking about I got from Patrick Terry. He's moving out of one place, and he asked me if I wanted some stuff. So I was like, you know, if it's free, it's for me. So he gave me a bunch of window seals, brand new window seals from for a coupe, a hose kit. It's got all brand new stuff, and then this looks like some gauges from a stock cluster. AC unit, one Mac header, an alternator. I'll probably give that to Rod. I think he likes the 2G types, are a little lighter than a 3G. And then a tail light, and a couple of the gray stock seats, which I might could use in down the road. And like I said, it's all, he's like, here, take it. I was like, heck yeah, I'm not gonna refuse that. So, and a big thanks to him for doing that. Of course, the dogs got to give their approval. Is that good for you, Hershey? Huh? You like that? Yeah. Boy, you satyrs, huh? Fat dogs. Oh yeah, Emmy got to come check it out too. About time for her. About time for her semi-annual haircut. She looking like a little homeless dog. So anyway, that's all. Oh, and this is the thing I went over to get from the Chad. I asked the guys in the group text. Nobody could find one. Then Friday, I remembered the Chad. He's got a bunch of connections up there in Jay. And so this is going to go on the Trooper car. I think I can make this work better than the other thing I had. It's, where is it at? I'll elaborate more when I do the video for the Trooper car when I'm working on this. Right now I'm going to take this to my work and bead blast it, especially on the inside, before I start cutting it up. But once I get to that point where it's like I said, I'll do another video just about that, because I think it's pretty neat, and you hopefully will like it too. Anyway, that's all. We're wrapping this up mercifully. So, all right, appreciate y'all. Later on.